Okay, so here's hive 2. I'm checking the honey super. You can see I have a queen excluder in the bottom. I was told they wouldn't build comb on unwaxed black foundation. And I can see some comb here. There's none on frame 10, although the bees look busy. I also have an issue with their feeder. I have a front feeder, but I filled it yesterday. It's empty today, so I'm thinking it's draining. I can't imagine they would use that much. So again, this foundation, not a lot on. They're building some on frame 8, but not a lot. There's a little comb. I don't know if you can see it. Building some comb, which is good. So I'm going to, after watching numerous YouTube videos, decided I'm only going to have a 1 brood bottom box. Again, because I don't want to be having a ton of honeybee boxes, because I don't think I have room for it. Ooh, look at this. This is kind of exciting. So this is frame 7 on one side. Yep, they're building some comb. Maybe I'll pull this. In frame 6, so these middle frames, they're starting to build out. I see nectar. It's probably all the, maybe they have drank all the sugar water because there's a lot of shiny stuff in there. But they're building the comb. And then that's frame 6. And you can see, being a newbie beekeeper, they say to keep your frames going in the same direction. I have numbered them. And then I have put arrows on them. I probably could have just numbered them and had the same effect, but I actually at times get overwhelmed. I've been practicing my smoker skills. I have some smoke coming out, and again, thank you to all the beekeepers who YouTube, because during this social isolation, I've been hesitant to ask anyone to come out, so I'm relying on my Facebook groups, which have been awesome. Beekeeping Basics is a great one, and then I do the Tri-County Beekeepers in Georgia. So this is frame 6. It doesn't have much on this side. It has more on that side. Ooh, but frame 5. Nicely done, ladies. Has comb. And again, none of this comb had wax on it. So if I pick up frame 5, a lot of nectar, or probably not even nectar. This is probably all the sugar water. But again, my beehive is about a month old. So, oh, I should look at the other side. So I'm kind of in the thought of, feeding them. Frame 4, they're building comb on. Excited about that. And you can see they're not too aggressive. It's actually a cloudy day, probably 70 some degrees, and they're not too aggressive. And I don't know if that's because of my successful smoking abilities or if I just got lucky. So again, I'm smoking them a little bit, not too much. I'm going to look at frame 4. Okay, I think I should be happy with that. I have not seen the queen in this. I don't expect to see it on these frames. So this is frame 4. Because of the queen excluder, you can see down in there. I'm going to be checking that next to see if eggs have been laid or that I have new larvae. Again, not much, but again, these were only put in maybe 3 days ago. And I'm also, based on the YouTube videos that I've looked at, because I'm not concerned with honey production for myself this year. I'm just concerned with understanding my bees. I do go into my hives a little more often than some people recommend. And then that's the final frame there. So I kind of want to understand what's normal, what's not normal. It's great when I can put, oh, look at this score. There is comb in there. Ladies, oh, I'm sorry, I jerked you. I'm a jerk, I jerked you. But they are building. So, that's 3 days worth of production in this. I believe it would be a medium super. You can see. I'm only going to keep one deep, try to keep my hive to one brood. So I'm going to pause this and put it back together so that you're not bored with that process and I can get into the bottom. Okay, so I took that super off. Here's the queen excluder. I'm going to smoke. I don't know if you can see how they start to kind of go down in. I did have to watch another YouTube video, and I'll try to give credit, maybe in the comments or the description of whose video I'm watching. He's a guy and he does single, pretty sure he does single brood bottoms, and his style seems to work for me. Like I said, there's so many different ways of beekeeping. I think you have to find what works for you. So right now his style is working for me. I have, since I got stung 5 times last week, thinking, oh, I got this. And I only got stung because I took shortcuts. I didn't have a smoker going. I didn't fully suit up. I thought, oh, I'll just do a quick blah, blah, blah in my hive. And yeah, got stung. So, I'm going to put this here. I need my helper, Elle, who was here over the weekend. Right, so this is a lot of, would you call this propolis here? How they made like a little, they make little holes so that they can travel up and down. And I saw another video where they said you should put holes in the frames, or some of the foundation frames have corners you can snap off to make little travel holes. So I may look into doing that another day. Okay, I'm going to give another quick smoke. Now you can see this is an older, my first hive. I don't have these marked. So I'm going to stop and go find my marker and do that while I'm in here. So hold on. Okay, so I got them marked, but I would tell you, if you're going to mark your frames, mark them as soon as possible, because once the bees have walked all over them, and you can see my original nuke frames are very seasoned, it's hard for the marker to take onto the frame. So quick eyeball for my queen. Anybody see her? Doubt it. But my friend Elle came by this past weekend over Memorial Day. First time looking at bees, I pulled out a frame and she saw my queen. Which on one hand, I'm really happy because I got to see my queen. On the other hand, I was so jealous because I'm not able to see it quickly. I'm going to pause again as I start to take out frames. Okay, so I'm going to show again. There's a lot of bees on top. So my smoker is still going. I'm so excited about that. So I'm smoking. You can see they start to skedaddle. I'm actually checking this hive because I thought I saw a supersedure cell, and I want to take a picture and post it on one of my Facebook groups so that someone in there can say, yes, be concerned, don't be concerned. If I see one, I'm going to open it and see if it has a larvae in it, and I'm going to get rid of it. But that is the main purpose of my going in here, because I'm neurotic. So, all right, I'm going to stop again. So this was the reason I felt I could add a super on top. This is the outside frame 10. You can see there's a lot of capped honey. There is some nectar. It's not quite built out there. Then look at all these ladies. So again, I have capped honey. I have a brood. But if you're experienced, you can tell me if that's a good brood pattern. I know it's not a big brood pattern. So then this, see that cell there, was that supersedure? Did I just bust it open? Yeah. Let's see if we see more of those. You can see all the colors of nectar in that in there, so I feel kind of good about that. Okay, so note to self, those garden gloves, they have a breathable back that if the bees land on, they can sting through. So I still have them on, and I've put nitrile gloves over top, hopefully to mask the pheromone, because I still have to finish this hive inspection. And this was what I was concerned about. I don't know if you can see that right there? If anybody can see that, and let me know, it would be appreciated. I am going to, I think, scrape it off. I don't see any. Well, yeah, look, there were larvae in there. So is that something that I needed to be worried about or need to be worried about? Any input is appreciated. Come on, ladies. We're taking it down. Yeah, you can see there was something in there. All right. See if my smoker's still going. I don't think so. It wasn't the longest of any smoker, but might be a little bit of smoke in there. Let's try it. Yeah, they're not pressed. So I'm going to check these other hives. I'm going to go a little quicker because, yeah, stung 3 times. 2 in this hand, once in this hand. So I need to go take some Benadryl. So I'm going to put you down to ask. Do I need to be worried about this? I'm going to check for larvae in it. But this looks like a good brood formation to me. Some honey. This looks like there might be some drone buildup there. Don't know. Again, this is my outside frame. It has brood and it looks like it has honey on it, which is why I did the super. Okay, what are today's takeaways? After handling Hive 2, looking for super seizure cells or queen cells, or I don't know. I'm a little tired. Can you tell I'm winded? Again, those people who do more than like one hive a day, one, you're younger than I am, most of you, or you're more experienced than I am. But I bow to you. Oh, because I can only do one. I can't even do that well. I did get stung about 5 times in one day today. The only thing I didn't do that I should have done is I didn't put socks on. It is 80 degrees here in Georgia. And the one thing I didn't want to happens is a bee went down and nicked my ankle. But it's icing right now. So smoke is your friend. I've decided no matter what, if my smoker goes out, I stop whatever I'm doing, I go back and I get it smoking again like a choo-choo train. So I had it about halfway through, which is the longest I've ever had a smoker last. But yeah, then it went out and I thought, I can finish. Yeah. 2, garden gloves. Those garden gloves that look like they're all plastic and waterproof. That breathable bag, perfect for little bee legs to get stuck in and then sting you repeatedly. So I iced it, but this hand probably had 2 to 3 stings today. We'll see what it looks like at the end of the day. And then this hand had 1. So I'm very fortunate that, I'm very fortunate that I get to keep bees. I'm just going to say that. And 2, I have a pool house where I also do my artwork that has a refrigerator that keeps ice in. And so that ice. And then 3, after a hot day of beekeeping, I get to go jump in this. So how bad can my life be? If you've watched this far, thank you. And I hope you're learning from my mistakes. And I hope a year from now, you can look at any videos I make and go, wow, she's come so far. She's amazing. But I got the honey super back on top. I got the sugar water feeder back on front. I did get somebody told me to shut the spacing bar closer to the sugar feeder water. So I tried scooching it over, but it was really stuck in there. So I got it over about 1 inch. So now there's 2 openings. Hope that's not a problem. But yeah, I was done and the bees were done with me. So another day in the life of a new beekeeper. Take care, everyone. Stay healthy, stay safe, and talk soon.